This is Imperial Rug Galleries at 232 King Street East, Toronto, Ontario. I have to go back to my great-grandfather.
Really?
Back in 1901 in Cleveland, Ohio. Avedis Tutikian. He migrated to the US, opened up the East End Carpet Cleaning Company, which started off as cleaning rugs, and then eventually moved into importing rugs from Iran and selling them. And then my dad basically immigrated from Syria via Australia back in the 60s and was brought into Cleveland specifically by his uncles when they'd taken over the business to start learning the ropes and take over himself. But it was a tumultuous time in Cleveland, specifically in the 60s, and it didn't look like the ideal place for my dad to settle down, and luckily he had made his way to Cleveland through Toronto.
Yeah.
And Toronto spoke to him even back then. So he said, I'm making my way back into Toronto, I'm going to try doing something there. And he succeeded. Prior to being here, which is at King and Sherbourne, we were at King and Church for 20 years. In those 20 years, you didn't go past Jarvis. Nobody really came into this neighborhood and stayed. And now it's become one of the central hubs, especially the area is known as the King East Design District, specifically along the stretch. So in terms of home furnishings and interior design and decor, this ends up being one of the main places to come to in and around the city. When our lease was up over in the other location, well, if we're going to be forced to pay higher rates, because that's what was being done to us, we may as well be in a better spot where we have a better frontage. The windows here are fantastic, and we got a ton more walking traffic here than we did at church. The area got some mixed press when it came to the King Street pilot project, but it really doesn't affect this area as much, as that kind of starts and stops at Jarvis. People are still free to be driving around the area, find parking in the area. We're doing everything we can from not just a business standpoint, but the committees and organizations within the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But after I graduated from Ryerson as well, I went and worked a corporate job for just under 5 years, but I've been born into this business and into an entrepreneurial spirit. So I took the education that I got off of that and came back to the family business and helped to try and keep it growing.